Hi, boys and girls. I'm Miss Linda, and today I am going to read you a story about a little boy named Peter. And Peter has a secret. That's what his story is about today. Do you know what a secret is? A secret is something that only you know something about. Will you share a secret? Well, if you share the secret, then it won't be a secret anymore, unless you share it with a very good friend and ask them not to share it with anybody else. So let's see what this story unfolds for us today. On the way to school, among the tall pines and birch trees, Peter walked along looking at his feet. Left, right, and left again. Left, 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 he sang. With his right foot in his right hand, Peter hopped along on one leg. Left, 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 he said. A root was sticking out next to a hole. If I was like everybody else, I would have fallen in the hole, said Peter. And here is Peter walking through the pine and birch tree forest. And there you see Peter hopping along on his right foot. Well, let's see what else is going to happen now. Peter wasn't like other children, but they didn't know that. He kept that secret safe. Peter was smaller than other children. He didn't jump as high. He never ran. He didn't know how to swim or play ball. And here are Peter's friends at school. You see how Peter is over here, and he's smaller than the rest of the children in his school. But he owned a little black horse named Nero. Nobody else at school had a horse. Peter wasn't like the other children. And see, there is Peter on his black horse named Nero. And Peter wears a hat when he rides his horse. See the hat down here? At school, a girl came into the classroom. She had hair as black as Nero's mane. She said she came from another school. She said she just changed houses, changed school, and changed friends. She smiled and looked right at Peter. She said her name was Lola. And there is Lola coming into the classroom where Peter is. And here's Peter down here with a big smile on his face, happy to see Lola. Everyone was running, laughing, and yelling. Everyone was leaving school. The day was over. Peter slowly began walking home. He turned around and saw Lola, her braid bouncing in the air. "Which way are you going home?" asked Lola. "That way," answered Peter, pointing toward the road with the tall pines. "Then I'll go that way too," said Lola with a smile. So there they are. They're starting their walk, and Lola is running. But then she slows down to walk with Peter. She doesn't know why, not yet, but she walks with him. On the road with the tall pines, Lola started running. "No," yelled Peter, "don't run." Lola wanted to run to the first birch tree. She started to gallop, with her braids bouncing on her back. "The first one there gets a prize," she yelled. And there is Lola running to the first birch tree, and you can see her pigtails in the wind. And there is Peter trying to slow her down, telling her, "Don't run." Why? Why do you think Peter doesn't want her to run? Well, let's find out. Out of breath and smiling, she leaned against the birch tree and watched Peter. Peter caught up to Lola at the first birch. "I'm going to run to the pine tree that lost its head. Over there, do you see it?" she asked. Well, Lola is all full of energy and she wants to keep running. So she points to a birch tree without a head that she wants to get to, and she wants to run to it. She wants Peter to run with her so they can have a race, and who gets there first is the winner. Well, Peter's not too comfortable with that. We'll find out why. "Lola, don't run," Peter begged. Lola wondered, is he lazy? Do his feet hurt? Who is this funny kid who doesn't want to run? So there you have Lola and Peter. And Lola's thinking about, why doesn't Peter want to run? Lola and Peter slowly walked toward the big pine and that had lost its head. "Near my house, the trees lost their heads, too," cracked. "The ice snapped them off. But I didn't lose mine," she laughed. Lola talked about the forest near her old house. It was a beautiful one, and she really liked it. Peter wondered if he should tell her his secret. Could he trust her? Okay, let's see now. Here is Peter and Lola walking through the forest, and Peter's thinking, I have a secret. I wonder if I can tell Lola about it. Can I trust her? What does trust mean? Trust is when you tell somebody or ask them to do something, and they will do it. And if you ask them to keep a secret, they will keep your secret. That's what trust is. Now Peter has to go to the doctor. So Peter decided that he could trust Lola. He decided he could trust her. "Lola, I can't run with you. I don't have any muscles in my legs," Peter said. Without muscles, Peter's legs didn't have any spark. His legs were cold and tired. "My legs are going to get well, but it will take a long time. I have to build up the muscles," Peter said. "Muscles are what make you strong. They are what help you run." And there is Peter visiting his doctor, and his doctor is looking at his legs, telling him that it's going to take some time for his legs to get better and make those muscles strong so that he can run. walk with you until you can run with me," said Lola. They slowly walked towards his house. "That's where I live," he said, showing her the vast golden field and the house far in the distance. So Peter lives out in the country, and there's a great big golden field. That field might be corn or it might be wheat, but it's a lot of land on his farm. And you can see his house all the way up on the hill, and he's got to walk that far. That's a pretty long distance. But just then, Nero came up, proud and prancing, with deep, dark eyes. "That's my horse," said Peter. Then he grabbed Nero's thick mane and climbed onto his back. "Climb up, Lola." "I can't run," said Peter, "but Nero can run for me." Peter helped Lola onto the horseback. How about that? Nero, Peter's horse, came to give him a ride back to his home, because that would have been a long walk for Peter. And he gave Lola a ride also. Lola closed her eyes, and they galloped until they felt like they were flying. If Nero could have smiled, he would have. He had never seen Peter this happy before. Why was Peter happy? Because he was on the horse, or because he found a friend that he could share his secret with? I think that's it. I think he found a friend he could share his secret with. I hope you find a friend you can share your secrets with. Bye now.